What is going on, everybody? It's Super J here. In honor of episode 6 of The Last of Us coming out tonight, HBO Max, I thought I should rate episodes 1 through 5 from worst to best. So let's get into it right now. Now, in my opinion, the worst episode in The Last of Us so far is episode 4. And my reason is because it's quite short and it's kind of like a filler since nothing really happens. But it is still really good because it's just good world building in The Last of Us show, first of all, since it's taking a different route from the video games. And yeah, it's the weakest episode, but it's still a really good episode, so yeah. Now, number 4 on my list is going to be episode 3. And my reasoning is because it goes on for an hour and 30 minutes. And one thing that they do really good is they portray the relationship between Bill and Frank perfectly. It is really good to see that. Even though it's not portrayed the same in the video games, it's still portrayed really good. And I actually kind of like it better than in the video game, since it's more fleshed out. But other than that, nothing really happens, and it's just a lot of filler in between. It could have been an hour, and it would have been better. But yeah, so that's number 4. Now it's time to go on number 3. Now we're getting into the top 3, and firstly, for my top 3, I'm gonna go with episode 2. Because, man, we see the clickers in action and it's awesome. They portray the clickers literally exactly like they are in the video game. It's fucking amazing. I highly recommend watching the whole show. Even though I'm only talking about episode 2, episode 2 has probably the best action besides number 1 on this list, which I'll be getting into in a bit. We get to see the clickers, obviously, as I mentioned before, which are fucking terrifying as fuck. And seeing Joel, Ellie, and Tess having to fight them, like, face first, and seeing like how even if they make a little bit of noise that they could die, it's awesomely portrayed. I love it. Great episode. Highly recommend it. Now getting on to number 2. Alright, everybody. Now it's time for my top 2. Now for my top 2, I'm gonna have to put episode 1 and number 2. Because, man, what a great way to start off the show. I mean, I played the video game about 3 times, so I know already what's gonna happen. But people that are just watching the show for the first time, man, they're gonna be in for such a great ride. Although it's not as emotional as it is in the video games, it is still portrayed very well, and I'm very happy that they did the episode like that and the changes that they made, because the infected are terrifying when you first see them. Like the world, you could see how it's crumbling around Joel, his daughter, and his brother Tommy. You could see how the world just crumbles everywhere. Great episode. Highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Although it's not as emotional as I said before, it's still a really good episode, but yeah. So, time for number 1. I think you guys all know what it is. Now, in my number 1 spot, it is episode 5. Now, it's pretty much obvious since it's in pretty much everybody else's top 5 so far for the show. But man, they portray Henry and Sam perfectly. Way better than the video game did, since it's way more emotional in the show. And man, we got to see the bloater for the first time. What an awesome fucking show. Jesus Christ. Fucking awesome episode. And when Sam, spoiler alert, gets affected and his brother shoots him, such a sad moment. Seeing Ellie tried to help him with another spoiler. She gave Sam her blood, and thinking it's like a medicine, and it didn't work. But honestly, other than that, fucking awesome episode. 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this show. This is probably the best video game adaptation, like game to movie adaptation, that we've seen in a very long time since Sonic. So yes, I very highly recommend this show. Go watch it now.